Hi Aquariuses, welcome back to my channel. My name's Danny, and right now I'm going to break down your March general reading for you, okay? Remember, this is a general reading. It's not going to apply to all of you, okay? If you aren't getting the messages that you feel you need to, please check out your moon and your rising. I really suggest your rising. I feel like that's more important in this case. That's just my opinion. Yeah, so I'm not going to talk too much. I'm sure you guys are aware of, well, maybe not. March is going to be full of a lot of activity. We've got the full moon starting off on the 1st. We've got the new moon that's on the 17th. We've got Mercury going into retrograde. That's on the 22nd. So you guys are actually the last sign that I'm reading, and I can tell you the energy it's heavy. It's heavy, but not necessarily bad, but it's heavy. It's really a detoxing energy. I feel like this month is going to be really about cutting out the bad shit and sticking with the things that are serving us well, and things that are in alignment with where we're going and what we're about and all that jazz. So let's just get into it. I'm going to pull your cards first, and then we'll discuss afterwards, okay? Starting out, ooh, cute, 10 of Cups. Four of Wands, excuse me, 4 of Swords. Two of Pentacles. Six of Swords. King of Swords. Seven of Pentacles. Justice card. Empress. It's the first time I've gotten Empress this month. Damn, that's good for you guys, though. Good, 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 good. Page of Swords. Five of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles. And Four of Cups. Okay. Bottom of the deck. Three of Wands. Okay. And let me just pull, I'm going to pull an advice card from Doreen Virtue, Messages of the Fairies. Healing, healed, healer. That would make sense to me. You guys are highly intuitive and all that stuff. I feel like you guys, along with getting your healing, I feel like you guys are someone that Aquariuses are people that a lot of people like to go to when it comes to advice and things, because you guys are so aloof. You can kind of just give advice without putting too much of your feelings in it, and that is helpful. When someone just needs a look, I just need a perspective, you know. You guys just kind of go with the facts, which is good. All right, and passion. Okay, let's start this. So let's address First of all, let's see how many major arcana cards we have. We have two. Justice and Empress, they're right next to each other. Okay, so I feel like there's some big changes, big shifts, especially when it comes to your love life. We'll see. Let's address this Three of Wands. Three of Wands is the bottom of the deck. So Three of Wands, remember, it follows the Two of Wands, which Two of Wands is like we're deciding, we're weighing the option, we're looking out, and, we're holding the globe and seeing which way we want to go, left, right, whatever. And then three is about the doing. Like we're on our way, we're headed, we decided, we're going. So I do feel like you guys will be putting that into effect this month. Like I said, this month for March really seems like it's a very much a detoxing month. So I feel like with you guys, it's like you guys are making decisions maybe that you've sat on for a while, and now you're like, you know what, we're going for it. This is what I'm doing. It's very much that that energy of just taking that risk and going, right? Okay, so this is really interesting. For your work and finance, you start out with the Ten of Cups, right? And it follows that with the Four of Swords. Now, Ten of Cups, this is like, it reminds me of Sound of Music. Like this reminds me of her dancing on the mountain singing, right? This is like total happiness, total balance when it comes to love. Your family life is good, your love life is good, your home is good, like it's good. Even your money's good. It doesn't speak of abundance, but this in many ways, like the Ten of Pentacles is abundance all around, but just really that loving energy, right? And then you've got the Four of Swords, which is like that energy that says relax, meditate, take time. This is time to rest after strife or whatever. Now, I feel like it's going to be mixed because this is general. I feel like a lot of you guys are having a problem balancing out that work home dynamic, right? And I say that too because Spirit's telling you to focus on the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is all about finding the rhythm, all about balancing, all about kind of weighing the things out and making the decisions and stuff. And I feel like for some of you, there's something that has to do with your work that is just not serving you well in terms of your family. Like maybe it's something like maybe your job requires you to be gone too many days, and that's a problem for your wife and kids or your husband and whatever. Like maybe it's something like you're feeling like that pull. I do feel like there's a pull. There's a few of you. I feel like there's a pull, like it's pulling you away from the kids. Like you feel like your work situation, whatever you're doing, it's kind of taking time away from your family. And so I feel like you guys, Spirit's kind of telling you to focus on finding that balance and kind of making the decision to what's going to be the best option for you in terms of that. Yeah, because you guys got the Six of Swords afterwards, right? Six of Swords, this person's like, they've decided to move on, right? Because where they are, where their boat is, and where the water is really shaky, it's not working for them. They're working to where it's going to be a little bit calmer, right? So I feel like whatever you guys are working through, whatever you guys are going through, whether it has to do with, in terms of work, I just feel like you guys are going to have to make a decision uh, based on what's more important for you. Some of you, I feel like you are pregnant or going to get pregnant or about to have that baby, and then you guys are taking this time to rest. Like maybe you're on your maternity leave, right? But definitely, I'm getting the sense that this month, work and your family life is going to be something that you're going to have to really figure out how to juggle. And I feel like you're going to be making a decision going towards something, whatever it is, that decision is going to be going towards whatever feels lighter for you, a little bit calmer for you. That I don't know, it's going to be different for each person, but you made a decision. And I feel like this Three of Wands has to do with that as well, right? So in terms of love, you guys got King of Swords, which is totally you guys. This is your energy, right? Air signs. Um, and the King of Swords, I feel like is totally you guys' energy too, just because the King of Swords, like if you look at his face, like he's kind of emotionless. He's just sitting there with his sword, like, what's up, right? You guys are known for being very aloof with your feelings, right? Not that you guys don't feel, but you're not going to put your feelings off on everybody else, and you're not going to lead with your feelings, and you're not going to really show your feelings. It's not like you guys don't have a heart or anything, but that's just not your way. I get it. It's cool. So I feel like you guys are really being yourself, taking on your energy in this month's read, right? Because you're looking at something in your relationship and you're kind of wondering if it's even worth it. Like, I feel like a lot of you guys are like, like if you're in a relationship already, like, hmm, okay, I've been dating Tom for a while. Like, let's do pros and cons right now because y'all are all about lists and pros and cons and what makes sense and logic, right? So I feel like you guys are like, let's just see how this is turning out. Let's see how we're doing so far. I feel like this is really a month where you guys are really taking the time to look at your relationships that you're in or your situationships that you're in or the people that you're talking to, and you're really trying to decide if the time that you put in and the feelings that you've already put in at the end of the day are going to be worth it, right? um and I feel that you guys will vocalize whatever that is to you, whether it is or whether it's not. But I feel like you guys are going to be vocalizing it and really taking matters into your own hands and becoming your authority on that, because after that you get the Justice card. So it's like whatever decision you decide, justice will be served, right? You're going to find that perfect balance and what works for you and truth and what works for you. Um, that's really good. When you do that, you get into this Empress energy. Now the Empress, this is like divine feminine energy. It doesn't matter if you're a man. This is everything. This is the combination of, I always say it's the combination of, like, if the magician and the high priestess were to have an earth baby, it'd be the Empress. Why? Because this bitch can make anything happen. Empress can make anything happen. It's all about harvest. It's like she sets her mind on something, she wants it, she gets it, right? She's sitting pretty. She's ruled by Venus. Now, this could be a Taurus, or I always think of Taurus and Libra just because they're both ruled by Venus. And so I always think of this as that type of card. And then we're getting the Libra here. So I don't know. You could be dealing with another air sign, another Libra. You could be dealing with an earth sign because there's some earth too. But the point is, the energy of it all is, I do feel like you will be having to have some conversations. Um, And I do feel like you will be kind of reviewing your relationship or your situation thus far and seeing if you feel like it's worth it. I do feel like justice will be served. And whatever happens, I feel like it will allow you to come into your own, to where you're feeling like this Empress. You're able to manifest. Some of you, again, I'm really getting like fertility, pregnancy, all that kind of stuff. I was getting it at first with the work line, which is crazy, but I'm definitely getting it too. Like, some of you could be pregnant, or your partners be pregnant, right? But either way, I really feel you stepping into this energy of making things happen, being able to harvest, and doing it using divine feminine, right? And that doesn't mean acting girly, but that's, even if you have to buck up on somebody, even if you have to push and nudge, it's that soft one. It's like that soft nudge. They don't even realize it's there and they think it's their own idea or something. You know what I mean? Like, she is the queen of all queens. She's everything. She is able to make everything happen. And I feel like um, you guys are going to be really communicating well this month. And I feel like that will work out in your favor, to where at the end of the day, you're going to be feeling like this Empress energy, despite all the craziness and heaviness you may be feeling on, dealing with these moons and this Mercury retrograde. Which reminds me, if you are a Virgo or a Pisces, heavily in your chart, like, or moon or rising, definitely watch those, because those signs are going to be feeling this month heavier than any, just because, again, it has to do with their signs, the full moon, and just the fact that we're in Pisces energy. And there's a lot of planets right now in Pisces energy, so there's just a lot going on. But I really do feel like you guys will be in a good place as far as your relationships. It feels like no matter what, you're gonna kind of get your way. Make sure you're being fair. Make sure you're being honest. Make sure you're being straightforward. You don't have to be a bitch about it. You don't have to be, mean. Just be diplomatic. You guys are pretty good at that, and just being fair. But I really feel like this is going to be a good month for you. A lot of you, I feel like, are either going to get pregnant, are working on being pregnant, or just working on really building. Empress, she's building her she's she harvests. It's about harvest. So I really feel like whatever it is you want in terms of love, you can really make that happen for yourself this month. I feel like you've got the universe on your side. So overall, we've got Page of Swords with the Five of Pentacles. Be careful with the way you're communicating with people. This brings me back to the King of Swords and how I was saying, like, there's ways of communicating with people and still being pleasant. Just because the Page of Swords, so Page is about messengers, right? Swords, that's all like communication, thoughts, all that kind of stuff. But see how he's kind of like frivolously holding his sword, just kind of like la-di-da, not even kind of paying attention to the words he's saying, kind of thing. So just remember to be mindful when you are having these conversations, even when it pertains to like what you're trying to do at work, whatever it is that you're trying to walk away from. Six of Swords. Just make sure there's some grace behind it, because there's ways of doing things still, right? Because what you don't want is to feel like this energy, and you don't want anybody else to feel like this either. I mean, it's just really not good. I do feel like, whereas this card can represent feeling left out in the cold, it can also represent worry, and I feel like this is more of a worry situation. Like maybe worried about these conversations that you're going to have with these people in your life, or worried about how you're going to handle this work situation, how you're going to balance out between the family and what you want to do or whatever. I really feel like this is more about worry and just about your thoughts and your communication running away with you. So just be sure that you're on top of that and being really gentle with yourself, okay? And focus on what it is you want to do. Focus on these new business opportunities. Focus on, getting yourself very familiar and comfortable with whatever it is you need to learn, or whatever it is you need to do, in order to make whatever you want to do happen, right? Because this is like Mr. Spreadsheet. This is a very planned out, thorough person. Page of Pentacles is someone who's really learning how the earthly things work. So this could be you going back to school. If you guys are going back to school, it's telling you to focus on that. This could be seminars, trades. This could be new business opportunities. It could be so many things. Because again, you guys, it does look like you guys are moving away from either your job or moving away from a particular way you do your job. So whether it's a different position that maybe allows you to be home with family more, or maybe you're doing something that you could do from home or whatever. But I do feel like work situation is going to change, but I do feel like it's going to change for the better. You got the Page of Pentacles, and that's a really good sign, okay? Four of Cups. Four of Cups speaks about not wanting something. Like someone's trying to offer you this cup and you're like, ugh, I don't even care. I don't even want it. I've got three right here. Thanks. So make sure with this, I kind of feel like this is just making sure you're true to yourself, making sure that the decisions that you are making are ones that are coming from the heart. You're going to have to use your heart a little bit more than usual this month, right? Because cups are all about emotions, heart stuff. So I'm feeling like whatever you move on, whatever decisions you move on, please, by all means, use your mind, be logic, be your awesome, Aquarium self, but just double check to make sure your heart's okay with it, okay? So that you're not betraying yourself at the end of the day. Healing, healed, healer. Healing energy surrounds you in the situation. That's perfect. That's the universe is literally telling you, like, look, whatever you want, I got you. We're on your side. You just let me know so I know which way to go. I feel like it's like this in this situation. I feel like that's supporting you when it comes to your work decisions. I feel like it's also supporting you on whether or not you want to be in these relationships, okay? This card is letting you know that the universe has your back, period, right? You've got healing surrounding you in this situation. You're good. Don't worry about it. Don't put too much on it. Okay. And then passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. This means come out of your aloofness. Show a little something. It's not going to kill you. And this isn't to say that all Aquariuses are like this, but as a general rule of thumb, you guys are kind of like this. Now, of course, it matters what people's placements are, what your rising, what your moon, all that shit really shifts a person. But I think what it's saying, just in general, like, just be open. Don't be so strong. Like, don't be so guarded. It's okay. It's safe to be open, because that's when you're gonna get the blessings, right? That's when you're gonna get this Empress energy, and and feel like you can create and do anything you want, right? Also, if you are trying to get pregnant, make sure there's passion there behind it. I always tell people, like, the easiest way to get pregnant is honestly to not try. Like, okay, when I got pregnant, and I'm not going to go into my story of how I got pregnant. That's ridiculous. But I'm saying when I got pregnant, I remember my dad asked me, well, were you trying? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, you weren't not trying, because if you weren't not trying, you wouldn't have got pregnant. And yeah, that's a very great point. However, we weren't trying. So it's like one of those things, like when you're just letting your life flow, that's when these great blessings and things kind of happen to you, when you kind of like lose um, wanting to control everything, is basically like, let the passion lead you, and let it, like, let it open you guys up. It's a good thing. It's a great thing. So I think this is going to be a really good month for you guys. Of course, a little bit of turbulence, especially I feel like you guys might have turbulence with the work situation. You may even have some with the relationships. Um, but at the end of the day, I definitely feel like things are in your favor and the universe is on your side. You just have to stick with it. Be true to you. Be a little bit more open. Show a little bit more love. That's all. Like, because you're good. And focus on what makes you feel good, and focus on what's going to be best for you and your family. I feel like that's a really big one, because I'm getting pregnancy and babies and family shit all over the place in this read, okay? So thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great March, and I will see you in